Here we go.
There we go. Oh, yeah. All is right with the world today.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. The clock is getting set again. Back to zero, where we're familiar with it. Morning, afternoon, evening, depending on when you're listening to this. My name is Dean. Welcome to the show. Joined as always by Lachlan Cross, 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton. He's the morning show host of The Locker Room. But yes, I feel that way today. You know how I feel today? Let me take you on a journey through my feels. I feel like the truth matters a little bit today. I feel like lies are lies again a little bit today. I feel like we have the ability to be treating everybody with the same stick, same measuring stick a little bit today. It's like everything that was wrong, the disturbance in the force, when right was right, wrong was wrong, the truth was the truth, and a lie was a lie. And when you catch someone in a lie and then go, oh, you got me. Remember that time? Remember when, like, you know, someone would be caught doing something wrong and you'd be like, oh, you got me. I did something wrong. I totally pay the piper. I get it. And then you do these perp walks, you'd be all demure, and you'd be like, okay, that person's taking it in the mouth. They're learning a valuable lesson. I feel like we've returned to that a little bit because about, I don't know, half an hour ago, DJT, Donald J. Trump, as you can see here, waving to the audience in front of the Manhattan courthouse, made his way into the Manhattan courthouse, and on his way into the Manhattan courthouse was promptly arrested. And processed, and he is currently sitting in a cell waiting to give remarks, waiting to go and sit in front of a judge in his case to say these two words: not guilty to not one, not two, not three, but 34 different felony charges, Lachlan Cross, in New York. And of course, this has to do with the Stormy Daniels hush money payment. 34 charges. Let's watch them. Look at this. Him walking in. Not happy. Look at the slow walk. You see that? The fucking thousands of reporters outside the courthouse. Do you see the slow walk? You see him getting out of the limo there? Let's back this video up. And gives a little wave. This is after he arrived around 1:35, 1:36. Donald Trump then sauntering slowly to the Manhattan Criminal Courthouse, where he was promptly arrested, read his rights, taken to the 7th floor to get fingerprinted. Now he's on the 15th floor, getting ready to plead not guilty to, like I said, 34 different charges. Lachlan Cross, it happened. Da, 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 da. And joining us to talk about it, Ryan Lindley from the Lynn's Report, formerly Lynn's Report, now, of course, from the Getting Sauce podcast. And we had to bring in a political ringer, ladies and gentlemen, from the True North Eager Beaver podcast, Willy Wonka's best friend, Mr. Douglas Connors. Ladies and gentlemen, the gang's all here today. Nice to see everybody. So, we've seen the perp walk. We'll get to some video of his supporters. We're going to get to everybody's thoughts about the arrest of one Donald J. Trump. Lachlan Cross from 957 Cruise FM would like to weigh in before we get started.
You should let me go first because we're going to get much more articulate comments from the two guests on the podcast today. I would like to point out that I am wearing black because today is a dark day for not only democracy, but also Western culture as a whole. I cannot believe that we've arrested somebody that's been a criminal for years. It just doesn't make any sense.
I know.
How can you justify this? How can you make sense of this? This is just, it's awful. I think we should all be embarrassed. It's just, this guy has been a criminal his whole life and never been arrested. What's going on? Why now? Why now?
I have to say, I totally agree with you, Lachlan. I mean, sudden changes in behavior are really, really suspicious to me. I mean, you hear Jared Kushner and all these people saying, I mean, if it can happen to him, it can happen to everyone.
Yeah,
I mean,
because he's a fucking criminal.
Well, yes. I mean, I guess if you've been a criminal, then you get treated like every other criminal.
But I don't think he will, though.
But
do you think he will?
Well, I don't know. But see, the thing is that these people are so used to not being treated like criminals. So for them, this is all new. So this is why they're all going, wow, if it could happen to us, it could happen to everyone, because it never happens to us.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to frickin' consequence culture. Thank you very much. There you go.
The thing
that
got me was I find it hilarious, and I have to agree with Locke. Isn't it funny that it was actually him paying a contractor that actually finally got him in shit? Like, how funny is that? Stormy Daniels, he paid her, and now he's in a bunch of trouble.
It's fucking surreal, dude. Like, you know, I knew it was coming. I've been invested, like Lachlan and I talked about this yesterday, 6 years, right? 6 years of sitting on this guy who kept getting away with it, the guy who kept getting things, the guy who got the presidency, a guy who was able to steal all kinds of money from people, a guy who worked with foreign governments, a guy who hurt people, a guy who okayed the murder of a journalist in Jamal Khashoggi, a guy who literally begged, borrowed, and stole, beat his own citizens for a photo op with the Bible, a guy who literally tried to fucking conduct a coup of the United States of America. Finally, he's charged and he has been arrested, and he is going to answer for at least 34 different charges. There are at least 3 to 4 more indictments to come. Apparently in May, we're going to get Georgia, and in May, you're also going to get J6. But I want to start, I guess, with Douglas. You know, guys like me, like, listen, I'm not a political pundit. I'm not a journalist. I'm none of those things. I'm an invested viewer, right? Someone who was brought up a certain way, right is right, wrong is wrong. Watch that whole thing bake in for like the last 6-7 years. And today it feels especially free. Does it not? Like, today you feel like, well, it's almost like everything my parents told me was right, even though it was wrong for the last 6 years. Does that make any sense to you?
It makes total sense. This is, look, ever since he went down that escalator, and those who've been following from even before knows that this guy is a one-man crime spree. Okay. He's a disaster, and we were all obligated to listen to everything he had to say for about 5 years. One, because he was the candidate, then the nominee, and then because he was the president, they had to cover him. Well, this is freaking return on investment time. All of us who spent the last 5 or 6 years chewing our nails, wondering, hiding under the desk, doing the thing that Brittle Star was doing, just like looking through his curtains while eating some ketchup chips, going, "You guys okay down there?" Yeah, this is our time. We got the 5 or 6 years. This is our moment. So you know what?
Yeah.
Whether this court case goes all the way, anything happens, there are still other court cases. There's still other things going on. It's okay to be happy.
Right.
That it actually seems to be true, at least for this moment, that no man is above the law in the United States, because it sure the fuck, pardon my language, was seeming like there was at least one man that was.
Can I just weigh in with a stumbling block? And this is my only concern about this thing.
Then we're going to get to mocking some of his supporters that showed up to help him protest, which, by the way, was a fucking disaster today. And the scenes out of that place is good. And Trump has officially put out a Truth Social tweet, his first one, and it is not like the other one. So, yes, please weigh in, and then we'll get to that other stuff.
Because somebody put it out for him and actually made sure they spell-checked it.
He's scared. He is fucking shitting his diapers.
See, the thing is, here's where I think we're forgetting the conversations we've had in the past about narcissism, and the one thing that concerns me about this is how much so many people want this and need it. Like, they need Donald Trump to be arrested. They need him to go to jail. They need him to answer for his crimes. And I keep saying out loud, I think everybody needs to settle into the fact that probably will never happen. This man, they're going to put him in the ground before he serves any time behind bars. And maybe you're okay with just the arraignment and just the indictments, but there's a lot of people that want to see his fat orange ass behind bars. And the other thing is this is the stumbling block, is that I have a sneaky suspicious feeling that this doesn't have an impact on him. Again, I sound like a broken fucking record. When you meet narcissists, when you meet a true, full-blown, up-your-ass narcissist, they don't care what the attention is, just as long as you're paying attention to them. And he will just pivot and use this to get whatever else he's trying to get out of life. Dean and I had a quick conversation on the weekend about my alcoholism. And he said, you know what? You're really, really lucky that you don't wake up the next morning with anxiety or the SADS. I never have. And Dean pinpointed a time in his life when he started to feel that. And that was a big motivator for him to quit. Right. And I'm like, I've never had that. And
lucky fuck.
I also have never suffered from depression or anxiety. I have that in my family. I have family members that deal with it. I've watched the crippling effects of it. I also feel like as much as I feel lucky, and this is going to seem stupid to equate my lack of ability or my lack of anxiety and depression to, but there are just some people that are wired a certain way, and and the world that they don't actually, they're not impacted. And I think he is a narcissist. We all know he is, but
it's not impacted by the negative attention. Yeah, well, totally. And I'm going to throw over to Douglas real quick for just a second. Well, what you're talking about, and it is a weird analogy, what you're saying is that you are largely unaffected by the results of X, where a guy like Donald Trump is completely immune to the results of X because consequences to him he's never had to face. He's always been able to figure those out. So like he doesn't have the same trigger of, oh my God, I just shouldn't do that or just shouldn't say that. But to that point, I want to throw it to Douglas. He fucking knows this is real now. This is his Truth Social tweet leaving his Trump Tower palatial estate. Heading to Lower Manhattan, the courthouse seems so surreal. Wow. They are going to arrest me. I can't believe this is happening in America. And then a little hat tip to MAGA Nation. That is not the hubris that we've seen from him over the past, I don't know how many years. That is a dude who's like, oh my God, this is fucking happening. Douglas, your point on not just the arraignment, indictment, or jail sentence. It's all ego, right? Like that's what we're looking at here. He's face to face with the idea that for the first time in his life, he can't just throw his hands up and say, fuck it, I'm leaving. He's in it, right? Correct?
Yes, that's exactly it. Like Lachlan was saying, everything that Lachlan's saying is absolutely true and would apply, except for in this case, and this is where I think the difference is that in this case, because it is legal, and the second the arraignment takes place and he enters his plea,
bingo,
it is no longer in his control, and he's a control freak, right? He avoids consequences by often delaying, spending money, denying, or getting other people to do the dirty work because the mob boss never gets his hands dirty. Allegedly.
Bingo.
So, I mean, just talk to Michael Cohen, right? Michael Cohen's out there and, he's talking and he's saying, I understand that people are saying that I'm not a credible witness because I lied to Congress, but I lied to the Congress at the direction of, with the assistance of, and for the benefit of Donald Trump. It's like, you will see with all the receipts that I've brought along that I am a very, very, very credible witness.
Yeah, and not the only one. And that's the thing about these 34 charges. Like we're talking about racketeering. We're talking about witness tampering. We're talking about things that we haven't even seen yet. When there's 34 of them, they're big ones. And to that point, Locke, and I will say this, is over the past 6 years, he's been operating in the court of public opinion, right? He's been saying things publicly. Dude, you can say whatever the fuck you want. If you're on Twitter, you know that. And he can come and go as he pleases, and he can lie about whatever he wants. There's one place on this planet that man cannot lie. He can't. It's a different world. That is in a courtroom. And so we're going to start seeing the truth here very shortly as to the extent of his criminality, because it has started. The clock has started. I read a great piece on Axios this morning, and I'm going to share it with you guys. And this is salient stuff. This is important to get to. But this piece on Axios really kind of laid out what the actual issues are. Between the lines, Manhattan District Attorney's Office prosecution, which focuses on payment from 2016, has triggered disputes over jurisdiction, the potential crimes that Jack Smith is investigating, and what they're going to be able to do is prove intent. And that is the key challenge here. His intent by talking to as many people as they could possibly talk to, from Bill Burr, and they're currently talking to his Secret Service agents. They're talking to Jack Smith is talking to people that live at Mar-a-Lago, work for him, people who have emailed on his behalf. All that is going into the court. There is a complete flow through of the entire backstory, how he did what he did, why he did what he did, who he used to do his bidding, all of that stuff in not just the January 6th stuff, money laundering with Russian forces, with Truth Social, the Georgia racketeering charges, which stand to be the most incredulous, like the ones that he can't believe are happening. Those are the ones that stand to really put him in peril and jail for a very long period of time. This Stormy Daniels thing, I get it. Like, on its face, it looks weird. It looks like Alvin Bragg has just got something out for him. But when you lift the covers back and you watch all the rats scurry and you start talking to those rats, a different story of pure criminality appears to have appeared. And we're now getting in the next, we're waiting for Donald Trump to make arrests. He's been arrested. We're currently watching this. And now this is going to deplete his resources. And now it's going to deplete his time. And now he has to fucking tell the truth, because it's not one of these. It's 4 or 5 of these. And it's going to take years. It's not going to take months or weeks. Like, he's about to go on the journey of his life. If he thought being the president was exciting, wait till he goes through the next several years, gentlemen, because this is on. It is officially on, and it is starting today. Donald Trump is going to be held somewhat accountable by some legal system in the United States for the first time ever. And to your point, Lachlan, he's been doing it for 40 years. So that's why the entire city of New York fucking hates the guy. Like, hates him.
That's why he wants the trial moved out of New York. He's already asking to get it moved, because the one thing that we also have to keep in mind, again, and I'm not trying to put up roadblocks on a conversation about whether or not I want the guy to. I want the guy to.
You've been let down by him being allowed to be this person for a long period of time, where you just don't believe it. And I kind of I got one foot in that camp too, dude.
I'm right there too. I'll believe it when it lasts kind of guy. But I think even if it ultimately, let's say he avoids everything and he doesn't go to jail, ultimately for any of these things, the lawyers, the hit to reputation. Remember, this guy is the world's biggest attention whore. Right? He is taking hold of emotional needs. Everything is about reputation and ego. He is, yes, he does love this in one way because he says it helps him. I mean, there are people that have been stupid enough to send him $5 million in the first 24 hours. People that are poor and living in trailer parks are giving him alleged billionaire. He's going to deplete his resources. He won't be able to practice business in New York. A lot of his associates also have their own trials. A lot of the people that practice law for him, he even needed to get a new lawyer for this one. And I sure as hell hope that the check cleared and he knows better to sign anything saying that he attests anything that Donald Trump said was true, because like the other lawyers before him, the price of that job is going to be everything he owns.
Significant. That's a big retainer when you're actually working for a known liar, because his former lawyers are now in trouble for lying for him with the J6 dude, Jack, the special guy, Jack Smith. Like, dude, being his lawyer isn't a fucking, and he had to actually go out and splash out and get a real lawyer for this, is my understanding.
Yes. From a big firm, and the lawyer had to quit his firm because the firm wanted nothing to do with this.
Yep. Well, and I bet
this is another lawyer that's looking at, maybe this is my opportunity to shine here. So I better hope that the check cleared and that you do not sign anything based on Donald Trump told me.
How fucked is that? Like, to get a real lawyer, he had to go to a law firm to hire a lawyer, and that lawyer had to quit because the law firm was like, fuck, dude, we'll take money from anybody. We're not taking his. Sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. But for everything you're saying is true. The minute he announced that he was running again for president, since that moment, he's already raised $8 million. So that's what's going to pay for it. Like that. But
you believe that?
I believe it. I believe these people are paying for his legal fees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like hundreds of thousands of those people are paying it, and you get enough of them.
I'm not saying he didn't make any money. I'm saying
$8 million. No,
who told you? Who told us? Do you have any? Here's a guy that lies about everything.
Oh yeah, he might be lying about that amount too, but that number has been reported back by individual sources.
By his
made between $5 and $8 million.
It probably went to some PAC who probably had some numbers,
and they have to report too. Yeah.
No, fascinating. I mean, that's the other part of this is the reporters outnumber the supporters at Trump Tower in front of the criminal court.
Funny how many cameras
the fucking pictures.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
All news people,
right? Look at that. It's like it's all news people. There are no supporters, and the supporters that show up are these guys. It's just full trailer trash, burning sage, saying my pronouns are not and guilty. And then there's this guy, just the fucking man in a onesie overall. That's far too tight. He's not wearing a shirt. But again, I mean, we're so jacked up by this whole thing, and this is just yet another criminal appearance by another criminal, right? But this criminal happened to be the president of the United States of America. Some of the scenes from it last night, I'm going to get this for you today. This is kind of wild because it's not just about Trump supporters and anti-Trump supporters. There are more reporters than supporters and anti-supporters on both sides. They still managed to get into a fight over a flag. Apparently, flags are a big deal down there today, too. I want you to watch this. This flag, it said Trump lies all the time, and his supporters are trying to take it, and they're trying to convince all the anti-supporters they're on the wrong side. This is a little skirmish that happened a couple hours ago. There we go.
Whoa. I'm sorry. You're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side.
Wrong side. She's trying to steal the flag.
Unreal.
I mean, it's all a whimper down there.
This is the one thing that really surprises me is the lack of protests. Right?
Well, I think it says a couple of things.
I was from that camp.
It says a lot.
It says a couple of things. It says the rest of the fucking world doesn't care anymore, and Donald Trump has zero to no support.
He's exhausted everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not tourist, bitch. I'm from New York.
Yeah.
It's just fucking wild. I mean, and it doesn't stop. It's not just that skirmish that we've seen. It's the individuals with whistles trying to, even Michael Rappaport, remember comedian Michael Rappaport's got his own show, does some great stuff. He showed up to Marjorie Taylor Greene's speech because she showed up. She said she was going to lead.
Oh yeah, God, I follow him on social media.
I do too. I'm going to play it for you.
I have that one if you want to play it.
I actually got it queued up, but I appreciate that, Douglas. Thank you. Yeah, I'll play this for you. This is Rappaport hustling and heckling Marjorie Taylor Greene after she said she was going to show up to create noise with the noise crew today. Not only did they not create noise, she got drowned out by a bunch of whistles that were handed out by a Trump supporter. Guy fucked it up. And then she fled for her life. And this is her fleeing for her life. And Michael Rappaport fucking singing to her as she's leaving the crowd.
Marjorie! You animal, you! Go back to the farm, you animal! They're looking for you at the sanctuary! You filthy animal! You QAnon lunatic! Hit her with the space lasers! Blast her with the fucking space lasers! Get the fuck out of New York, you racist, sick, filthy, infected animal! Get the fuck out of here!
If Michael Rappaport was gay, I'd be all over him like a greedy kid on an M&M.
Oh my
Turns
God.
your crank, huh? That's an alpha male right there.
First of all, he's ginger, number one. Second of all, he's got that great accent that I love. And come on, a mouth
New
like
York
that,
accent.
I didn't know you were into gingers, Douglas. That's a new wrinkle.
I love
really?
gingers, and they are allergic to me.
Oh, that's a shame.
I love what does not love me. Go figure.
Usually how it
Story
goes.
of my life, a mouthful of breast mints and no one to kiss.
There you go. That's the Donald Trump problem right there. You love gingers and they don't love you. Same thing. No one loves the man anymore. Like that's what's coming at. That's what I'm getting out of this is that, the unwrapping of the lack of support here shows how much of an operation this guy's been on for the past 6 years when it comes to his support, is it not?
For the
What?
other candidates in the GOP and the other candidates running in the race against him.
Yeah, like
They're
DeSantis
still
and-
scared about
Yes.
his following and
Yes.
potential
Oh,
voting
yeah.
base. So, but maybe that'll start to slide here as well.
Well,
Dean and I were talking about it earlier this week, Douglas. That I think the biggest mistake he made, and the reason why this is happening now, because you know for a fact that there was conference rooms full of people, legal minds, sitting down talking about, okay, is it even safe to do this? What happens if, and he got his sniffer on it and went, I'm going to show them. I'm going to start riots right across this country because everyone loves me.
Right.
And then he goes and tells everybody he's being arrested, go to the streets, start protesting.
Never happened.
Nothing happens. And I think they went, all right,
Let's go for it.
everyone, when you're done lunch, we're going to have a meeting and we're doing this.
Well, you see,
Not letting them get away with it anymore.
the difference between Trump now and Trump then is Trump is, well, a loser. And other Republicans are saying a loser, right?
Lost.
He didn't win the popular vote in the first election. He didn't win the popular vote in the second election. He lost the Senate, right? And then during the midterms, he lost. And then the second, I mean, twice indicted. Every single one of his court cases didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Lost all of
Lawyers
them.
like this.
Yeah.
He can't, his business has been charged with $1.6 million and can't operate in New York anymore. Ivanka is not participating in the next election campaign. Ivanka, and also in one of the lawsuits, said, "Oh yeah, all that stuff going on. That was my brothers and my dad, not me."
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah,
her
she sold
defense.
him out last week. Yeah.
Sold him out. So I mean, he's losing his princess. He's losing Trump. They found out that he tried to create Trump Organization 2 to funnel all the stuff in. Letitia James stopped that shit from going on. He's going to be left in Mar-a-Lago like this, and that's all he's going to be left. And they're going to come and take that too, because he's got $450 million coming due this year, and he's got more coming up, and he can't raise enough money. If all he got was $5 million in the last 24 hours, that's not going to pay the $450 million that he's up.
It's not going to cover
And he
his
does have
legal costs.
one candidate, Asa Hutchinson, who was the governor of Arkansas, he was the first one who started to say something. On the weekend, he said, well, let's look at 3 different investigations. There's the hush money out of New York. Secondly, it is the request and pressure for votes out of Georgia. And the third one, of course, is the mishandling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. Those are 3 serious investigations. You might say one of them doesn't showcase anything, but when you look at all 3 of them combined, it should give Americans pause. And he actually outright said that Trump should pull out.
The problem with, I
They're
think,
starting to eat each other, aren't
no
they?
one.
I love
Yeah.
it. I fucking love it. It's
Except
all
he's
coming
not.
home. Yeah.
the problem I think that the Republican Party has right now is something that Trump did very, very well. He made his name as part of the narrative.
Mhm.
Like, the way they've reached that base and the way they fired up the base, and they're all guilty of it, is through him. And it became the Trump party. He took it over. He
It
made
was a
that
hostile
party.
corporate takeover. Yeah.
He made it about himself, and he rebranded the Republican Party.
Yeah,
So
but
now
where
they're
he
sitting
becomes-
back going, how do we adjust to a new, like, I think they got to dismantle the whole fucking thing. Like, you can't recover from this. You can't.
No, he can't. And you can't do it. And this is how fucked the world is. Do you know what the real issue is with Republicans and why they refuse to let go of him? Is he holds all the mailing lists. Like the mailing lists for donors. He has tens of millions of names that he can activate at any point in time to send him money. So the Republican, and he took those with him along with all those classified documents.
Yeah.
Again,
It's
he's not
unbelievable.
dumb. You may hate
No.
him, but he is not dumb, right?
Well, he
he's not.
is and he isn't. He's a
He's
really
sloppy.
fucking dumb criminal, but he's very smart in how he gets leverage. Like that's why he took those classified documents for you to give him back. That's all kinds of fucking leverage over your enemy. And your enemy is the government, which you're not in charge of at that point, right? So his whole idea is, how can I get leverage? Like that's all he's ever done with his life. If you listen to reports about David Pecker burying stories, catch and kill, all that other stuff, his number one industry was about getting leverage on people so that he could do things. And the kind of leverage that guy does, and this is what I'm also interested in. Like, yes, I'm interested in this guy going to jail. Yes, I love the Schadenfreude. It's all lovely. But what I'm also interested in is when he's put in a corner, who else he's going to sell out. Because like when he says stuff like Bill Clinton did it first, he's 100% correct, right? Criminality has always existed in the political machine. And they've always used different means to be able to uncouple candidates, individuals from the things that they've done to cover up for them. Donald Trump has had an industry built around him when it comes to that, and the gig's up. So and you know how he likes to fucking sing. You know how he likes to tell people. He is going to take, if this goes down, and this is kind of the interesting part for me, I wonder who he's going to take with him. Because it could be a bunch of people, right? Not just Republicans, Democrats, Dershowitz, everybody that was on Epstein's plane. I mean, this guy's going to go for fucking broke. And if you're a fan of entertainment, that'll be the most entertaining part of this. If you are unbiased.
That's an interesting angle, Dean. That is a very interesting angle. Doug says he has something on Pecker.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Who else is he going to turn with? And I mean, first of all, David Pecker, what a great name, right?
I love that name. I wanted to say it out loud. Doug,
I just love that he said Douglas has something on Pecker. And I'm like, all right, let's hear it. What are we talking about? The same thing? Okay, good.
It's good. Pecker. Absent, try it. No.
Doug said something about Pecker in the DMs again.
Yeah, there we go. We never know what we get with Douglas. He's always talking about sex.
He's always bringing up Pecker.
Peckers, yeah.
When it's not my own, it's someone else's.
God, I love having an openly proud gay man on this show. It is the fucking best.
One.
Anyway, back to Mr. Pecker. Shame. Yes, back to the mascot. Yeah.
So the thing is that with this thing, right? People were thinking, well, why are we going forward with this Stormy Daniels thing? It's not really a great case, and everybody was expecting that there would just be one or two things. And one of the things that they were wondering is that because this is a state charge and is a misdemeanor, they needed something else. When it's coupled with another charge, it can be a felony. And everybody thought, well, it's going to be the campaign expenses, right? Because it's not only that he paid it, right? It's that he had Michael Cohen pay it, and then he reimbursed Michael Cohen in individual payments, claimed that those were legal fees, right? Claimed that those were legal fees for retainers. And then he tried to expense the money he paid Michael Cohen. He decided not to leave it. He's just that greedy that he expensed it on his own accounts, right? And now it seems that, well, we talk about Stormy Daniels all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder why there's no clouds in my sky, Stormy Daniels. So I'm. There's also Karen McDougal. Have we forgotten about her?
By the way, I had a thing for Karen McDougal. When they were like, Karen McDougal slept with Donald Trump, and then they did Anderson Cooper did the interview with Karen McDougal. I was like, oh, that's gross because she's so hot. That makes me sad.
What happened?
I know.
But there was Karen McDougal, who also, they were trying to get her story, right? The thing with David Pecker is that he was with the National Enquirer, and that whenever he did something wrong, they would send a team out, and then they say, interview them, say, we'll give you money exclusively for your story, and then they would bury the story. That's the whole thing called catch and kill. Mm-hmm. Well, if there are multiple payments of catch and kill, and they were all written off similarly and then expensed, now all of a sudden you get into RICO, which is the Racketeering, Influence, and Corporate Organizations Act.
That's right.
Federally and state-wise called Little RICO. Some states have it. New York is such a state.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So,
and we don't have RICO laws up here. We don't have racketeering laws.
We don't.
We have similar ones, but they're not racketeering.
Pattern of all of that activity that is detected, and I guess that's how we get from.
Well, we also don't have criminals in positions of power, like in politics.
No, all of ours are fine. Yeah.
None. We wouldn't have any issues at all.
No.
But within the process of what you're saying, Douglas, is within the process of paying off this lovely Stormy Daniels, who, by the way, national hero, maybe international.
Stormy Daniels saves America.
Watched a couple videos of her yesterday in my research session. It was a lot of fun.
Again.
But what you're saying is that during the process of discovery, you figure out, oh my God, there's racketeering charges here.
Oh, right? There'll even be more there.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is just what the DA was able to find out when you get to discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Have they unsealed
That's
yet?
different. Then you're sharing information now, right? So
No,
and
they haven't
then
unsealed.
so I
I'm
mean,
watching a video of Donald Trump right now leave. He is currently, ladies and gentlemen, the 45th fake president of the United States is currently leaving he's just been charged and fingerprinted and processed. He is now going into, there he is. He's in the judge's court, and he is currently answering to all 34 charges individually.
yes.
So that's a lot of fun for him.
According to CNN 6 minutes ago, the Trump arraignment was underway. Now, apparently Trump, and this is why I'm wondering, because everybody's saying that he's a narcissist. It seems that Trump and his lawyers negotiated no courtroom video,
I told you he was going to
no
get
mugshot. It
No
seems
mugshot.
that it was no mugshot. We
I
don't know that
fucking
yet.
nailed
but
it.
seems that
Can
they did
someone
that.
please say how awesome I am?
But
No,
not
not
smart.
yet. Let Douglas
wait a
get
minute.
through it
You
first.
didn't nail it. You didn't nail it.
Yeah, fuck you.
So no mugshot, no video, only still photography after, like before the court case, but nothing when the court case starts. And then of course there'll be cameras outside. Now, the word on the street is that he really wanted that mugshot, and maybe even wanted the perp walk to fundraise off it.
He actually asked for it.
Turns out
yeah.
that he's avoiding it like the plague. There's a
wild.
reason for that. Now,
Why?
of course, when the mugshot does come out, they'll be the first to put it on T-shirts and try to sell it, and so will other people. So there's going to be a battle on who sells. They'll be selling T-shirts with his mugshot on for different reasons. He'll be playing the martyr thing, and everybody else will be celebrating the fact that there is one.
Listen, that's a good business idea, and we should probably do the shirt first, because like people who hate him will wear it, people who love him will wear it.
Exactly.
That's what we should do. Why aren't we doing one?
But he
now?
doesn't want it in circulation now.
Oh, he
because
doesn't.
He can't control it.
There's a picture.
So yeah, yep.
That's a shirt.
It's going to be really interesting. I'm just like, while you guys are talking, I'm monitoring CNN and whatnot to see if there's anything else that comes up from.
It's
the
interesting.
Dean
Dean kind of touched on something, Douglas, that I think is a big part of this as well as we sort of pull back the curtains here on what this man is like. And this, the funny thing is, this conversation is going to be going on for 50 years because he's such an enigma. But it's so intriguing to me how little value he puts on acquiring thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he has all this stuff and he will go out of his way to spend millions of dollars to avoid paying a contractor probably $100,000. Like, he has absolutely no real, he doesn't put value on any currency at all, right? And I've had trouble wrapping my head around that, because he just fights everything. Every time he hires somebody, he doesn't pay them, then just fights them. It's got to cost more for him to, and I've been a little bit bothered by the fact that's a thing, right? Like that it doesn't make sense to me. But you touched on something. His currency is leverage. His currency is information.
Yeah.
And that's what he values more than anything.
It's the only thing he cares about, dude, and that's why he is as dangerous as he is, and that's why it's taken this long to get
it's like
him.
that John Wick scene, right?
Where
where John Wick goes into the basement of the church and burns the Russian mobsters, blows it up. And the guy's not mad about the millions and millions of dollars. He's mad about the leverage he had in order to do the business he needed to do in the city. And he says it when he's got John Wick in interrogation in that warehouse just before he's about to kill him.
All right.
I know I just brought John Wick into a conversation about Donald Trump, so I realize how ridiculous.
And that was the point of him taking all those documents back to Mar-a-Lago and to what was it, Bedminster or whatever. Was he wants to be able to say, oh, you said that? Well, guess what? I got this. And it's got nothing to do with it's all about power.
Yeah.
It's power and it's control. And like you say, we're watching a man who has no control over what's happening to him today. He has no control over this at all. And
that's huge.
This is the byproduct of what happens when you surround yourself with yes men.
Yeah.
And they let you They let you run rampant with that narcissism. His lawyers, he would not take a lawyer that would give him solid, sound, and honest advice, which is what you want in a lawyer. You want a lawyer to tell you the truth. You want a lawyer to say, "Bud, you got to fucking stop, reel it in." He wanted to be just told to keep going, and people they thought, okay, the prestige of being the lawyer of Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States. I'll just do what he wants me to do so I can have part of the smoke. And they all thought they were all going to get. He's the biggest con man of the 21st century. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's just the biggest con, and he conned everybody, including the what was it? How many people voted for him again? Douglas, was it 55 million?
Oh, 60, 70 million, something like that.
55 million, I think it was.
There's
So
over 70.
Yeah.
Okay, so he conned them too. You know what I mean? Like, and the people that just keep on pouring money into him, and it's finally starting to dry up. And so I don't care if he gets put in handcuffs. I don't care if there's a mugshot. What I care about is watching this guy wither and die slowly. Like that's what Schadenfreude is for me.
That's got to be, I think, everyone's goal with this, because there's too many people, for whatever reason, Ryan, that are wildly invested in him going to jail for some reason, and that's, I worry about those people. I legitimately worry about that group, because
That need
I
him
don't
to go
think
to
they're gonna
jail
get
to be
that.
happy. Is that what you're saying?
Well, and I'm
Yeah.
actually in that camp a little bit, right? And so a lot of this is self-talk for me. I need to go to bed tonight not thinking that the world will be right as long as he goes to jail. And there are a lot of people out there, Linz.
Let's
that are
back
like
that
that.
off. I have to say, if I had a wish list, it would be kind of along the same lines as Ryan's wish list. Is that
Yep.
we watch the slow and steady
Withering.
demeaning and decline of everything to do with him, everything to do with MAGA Nation, which is a problem in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, we're being inundated in the chat site from people in MAGA Canada talking about
Yep.
how he's going to come back and we're going to be next and our time is next in the barrel, blah, 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 blah. But he has effectively found a way to tell people that they're coming after you. I'm in
Yep.
the way. And when you say that to stupid religious people who are already looking for a fight, fuck, dude, everything's
Yeah.
possible, to the point where he's been canonized by Marjorie Taylor Greene, who actually said only the best people get arrested, including Jesus. Watch this.
Oh yeah.
President Trump is joining some of the most incredible people in history being arrested today. Nelson Mandela was arrested, served time in prison. Jesus was arrested and murdered by the Roman government. There have been many people throughout history that have been arrested and persecuted by radical, corrupt governments. And it's beginning today in New York City. And I just can't believe it's happening, but I'll always support him. He's done nothing.
Yeah, there you go. He's done nothing wrong. She hasn't seen the
She's
charging documents,
terrible.
hasn't seen the indictment, doesn't know what he's being charged with, but she's comparing him to Jesus Christ, Nelson Mandela, and all the, quote, greats who've also been arrested. I mean, that's going to be the new perception war, right? Douglas is canonizing this guy, trying to convince everybody that he's literally, you're putting Jesus Christ in jail if you're putting him in jail. That's what they're going to start saying, right?
It won't work.
No. Why
You
not?
don't think so? It will work.
He's a
for-
loser.
He's a loser.
He's a loser. The party has been saying it for the better part of 2 years. He's a loser. They're trying to move away from him. They want to move away with him.
Not it.
They have no balls.
They're scared.
They just do not have the intestinal fortitude
Yeah.
to actually do it because
I don't
they fear
think
the
they
truth.
have a new
They fear
narrative.
their
though.
base.
They don't know what to stick their flag in now.
They don't have anything,
Yeah.
and that's the problem that they're having with the budget, for example, at the moment, right? It's because Joe Biden presented his budget. The Republicans can't get on the same page to present a counter budget.
Yeah, it's a mess.
At the moment, they don't know so they can't agree with all the factions among them. So I mean, it's the same thing here. You know, it's like she can go there and she can call him God, whatnot, and they're playing to a smaller and smaller base that has fewer and fewer places to go. If you add the Dominion case, right, you've got a lot of Trump loyalists. You know, they're the ones that are so far gone they can't be saved. But then there are the ones who are following him only because they've been stuck in the echo chamber and they just can't believe anything else. Well, once they start seeing Fox News hosts talking amongst each other and they hear those tapes and they see Tucker Carlson saying, I can't stand this guy, whatnot, some of them start to ask questions. Not all of them. But if he loses like 10 or 15% of those, and you know that this guy, Petty, I mean, I say Petty is my favorite color. Petty is his favorite color. You know that if something happens that he doesn't get the nomination, then he's running as a third party.
Oh, for sure.
Not because he wants to win, but because he needs more money.
Yeah, it's always been about
He's at
that,
the
right?
point right now where he needs money. He needs money. He's desperate for money.
Well, to the point where he's put
everything is going to be
like this week, he's put out 22 different fundraising emails. It's Tuesday.
Yep.
This is one of them.
And he's going to be trashing Alvin Bragg left, right, and center.
Let's go through this one. This is the latest. The radical left's endgame is near. Soros believes with his handpicked TA, Alvin Bragg, having indicted me for no crime, they can bleed our campaign dry by dragging us through the witch hunt after witch hunt. But what the Democrats never fail to understand is our incredible movement is you, 74 million Americans. And then at the bottom, he's like, I only simply ask for you to donate to me. I just need a little bit of money to get through to the next month. And then this one made me laugh the hardest. Friend, the failing New York Times released rumored details of my upcoming arrest. He will be fingerprinted. He will be photographed. He may even be handcuffed. Former president's expected to walk the routine steps of felony arrest processing in New York. And then he's like, I am not afraid of what's to come. And could you give me a little bit of money?
Yeah,
could you give me a little bit of money? That'd be awesome if you can give me a little bit of money. He sent out 21 of those, Lachlan, in the last 4 days.
But he's not afraid.
To 77 million different email addresses.
So is he tied into that?
Afraid.
Is he tied into that Dominion lawsuit, Douglas? Is his name specifically on that? Because it's a civil case now.
His isn't, but a lot of people with whom he's associated with are.
Okay.
A lot of
I
his
thought he
friends.
had managed to like sidestep that one because that one is very intriguing.
He has.
Yeah,
Rudy's going to get it. Hannity's going to get it. Fox is going to get exactly. Everybody associated with him is going to have to pay.
They're all going to get
that pillow guy is going down too.
Oh yeah, the pillow guy's fucked.
Face down, hopefully.
Yeah, they.
Did you see the pillow guy the other day?
Sorry.
He made a video in a car, and he's like, "It's really important that you guys buy my new slippers, okay? Because I can't sell fucking pillows anywhere anymore."
They caught on that my pillows suck.
Actually, I'm a big fan of my pillow.
Yeah, it's huge.
You are?
I've got like 3 of them. I really like them.
If it works for you, buddy, I'm happy.
Attaboy, as you should
I
be.
got them before I knew he was a lunatic, and he sponsored our show. And you know the irony of it is
Not this one.
No, the locker room. We had to do ads for him, and I remember it was right before he got elected, and it turned about halfway through this campaign with Mike. What's his name again? Michael
Lindell.
Michael Lindell.
Like Lindell.
About halfway through the campaign, Trump, like it started where people were just hating on Trump. And so we would be running these ads, and we'd run like these 60-second ads every hour. And man, people got mad at me because he was such a Trumper, right? And so they were like, you're selling his pillow. You're clearly a Trump supporter. I'm like, I'm not. I promise.
He's just a capitalist.
It's a good pillow. And you know what? The irony was, I think they had trouble getting the money out of Mike Lindell after.
Oh, for the ads?
Yeah.
He's
I
not a
think
big.
they did.
He's a big 120 payable guy. Big 120 days payable. If you're lucky.
I think they had some issues. I
take him to court.
Positive on that, but because I wasn't involved in that end of it. But yeah,
maybe he was stuck pantless at a Hardee's.
Well, dude, that's funny that you say that because when he recorded his "Hey, I invented some new slippers. Can you buy these?" Video, it was in a car at a Hardee's. No word of a lie. He was in like a Chevy Impala that he had rented literally in a fast food restaurant where he was hustling for money, and he was like, "We're gonna get President Trump out of jail. Just really important that you buy these slippers."
And
he did that.
He's a billionaire, or was.
Yeah,
he was. He made a lot. He hitched his wagon to the wrong horse. That's for sure.
A couple more videos I want to play. This is the Newsmax crew in front of Mar-a-Lago with all 4 supporters seeing him off, and then being like really happy that they have the support of 4 people and something about Jesus. Like this is without fake news, like real fake news, which he rails again. And without these fake news guys, the dude's he's nothing, legitimately nothing.
People out here are passionate. They're fired up, just like Donald Trump is right now. It's a two-tier justice system. They know it. They see it. And again, hundreds of people drove by the spot beeping and honking and in support of Donald Trump. And we've had one naysayer since we've been here. That shows you how the American people
And then
feel.
another guy drove by, rolled down his window and was playing this song, Indicted We Stand from Los Alexander, which just dropped today. It is like in the top 5 on the hip-hop charts.
Incredible.
This lady here is a patriot. She just handed me while Karen was talking. They're a tremendous bottle opener, probably the best, as Donald Trump would say. It's the visage of Donald Trump, of course. I hope you can see that. I guess somebody's handing this out.
Dropping it off for us for what we do. Thank you.
This MAGA hat you got over at the golf course, his people brought it.
President, yes.
So has this made you more resolved what's happening in New York?
Oh, yes.
Why?
It's breaking my heart. I feel so bad for the president and his family and America and Americans. This is awful to be dragged through this. It's awful.
All right. Yeah. So you'll see the president in a little while. I want to give you your gift back. But that gives you a sense. I mean, look at these poll numbers, Steve, that you've been talking.
Oh blah, 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 blah. There you go. Bottle opener, like a 90-year-old MAGA chick going, this is my new bottle opener. That's what he's got for support now.
Give him a tchotchke. So there's people like that. You give them tchotchkes and they'll show up every time. Here, you want a keychain? Oh, yeah, give me it.
Did you hear what she said when the guy's like, has that MAGA hat renewed your faith in Donald Trump? She's like, oh, yeah, big time. They came out and gave it to me, so I'm even more of a supporter. A hat. A hat. Yeah. That's why she's fucking just stoked about the swag. She loves his swag race.
Wait a minute. You know, if I rent a trailer and cross the country handing out Eager Beaver T-shirts, maybe I could be proud.
It works.
It does. It's not a bad idea.
Some stickers too.
Yeah.
All right, 8:15 tonight. We're gonna get a report. We're gonna get 8:50. Like he's getting ready to come out now. Apparently, we're not gonna stay with it obviously because it doesn't even fucking matter. But next up is he's flying back to Mar-a-Lago as soon as this is done down in Florida. And he's going to give keynote remarks at 8:15 tonight as an indicted criminal. What's that?
Word on the tweet is he can't get out of New York fast enough. Apparently, he's been saying in private conversations.
Can't get out of that shithole fast enough.
Nope.
Nobody likes him.
I've got a little clip that you'll enjoy. It's 11 seconds.
Yes.
It's I have to because it's our good friend Georgie Girl.
Oh, George Santos.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Let's play it. You want me to play it here?
This
is George Santos walking by Trump Tower, apparently. It shows some support for Trumpy. Is that correct? This is the embattled congressman that is a fucking liar from Jump Street that made up his entire history and got elected.
This guy is
amazing. Yeah, he's
You're
incredible.
gonna love this.
All right, let's watch it together.
All right.
I'm doing nothing. I'm leaving. Are you coming back at all later today? No, because you guys make it unbearable to be here. Why are you here then? He supports president, but
because you guys make it unbearable. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now. Oh, Mr. Santos. What a shame.
Oh, yeah.
So the thing about
it says, hey there, Georgie Girl, who never stopped to consider whether he's the one that was intolerable.
So I think the interesting thing about this being a potential change in direction is I think that's a focus too. You brought that up at the beginning of this, Dean, is that this might be the start of a rebirth, maybe even just an inkling of it, and we'll get on the right side of
the truth. You mean we're getting back to a point where facts matter, like where
it might actually
where Donald Trump is going to have to, for the first time, tell the truth, forced to tell the truth by law in a court, which he has never, ever, ever had to do. And he's going to have to be accountable for people. Listen, a lot of you guys out there, you're like, oh, fuck, you just hate Donald Trump. Fuck you. No, I don't hate him. I hate what he's all about. I hate what he does. I know you hate him. I don't hate anybody.
He's a raging dick.
He's a raging cock.
But he is a cock.
That raging back of cocks.
He is a huge bag of diseased cocks.
Large.
However,
micro dicks though.
Tiny diseased ones with foreskin.
Raging micro dicks.
However, I for me, it's like, hey, everything that my parents told me might actually be accurate about being a good person and telling the truth, right? About not being a prick and sewering people and getting what you want first and saying fuck you to everybody else and lying, like literally lying being a bad thing, and there is a baseline for truth. Without a baseline of fact and truth, we're fucked, and it gives all kinds of terrible people room to operate in this space, right? That's why I'm not super pissed off about Bill C-11, even though I am pissed off about it, is that at some point, the truth is going to have to matter in Canada too. And what does it say about what's going on in the United States when it comes to here? Your boy Skinny Trump, Pierre Poilievre, who's been running around lying about everybody else's intentions to try and rage farm support. That is what that is ending today. This is the beginning of the end of that.
I hope
today.
I
in
love
my
that.
mind.
I love that as a starting point for a change, but I'm too cynical to believe that
you. Yeah, I know where you're going, Locke, and I just because this is going to cause, I think, another thing that you have been bringing up a lot, and that is everybody's going to go to bed thinking tomorrow it's all going to be different. It's not. This is a slow trickle. This is a slow simmering burn. That this is how this gets fixed. This does not. This doesn't get fixed overnight.
No.
We've gone through almost 10 years of being force fed this horse shit. And people can't just all of a sudden vomit it up and be like, oh, what do you know? The truth matters again. It's those people are, it's going to take, this is a generational problem now. This is a thing that is baked in.
Post-truth society.
Post-truth society. That's right. We need to figure out a way to unravel it. And you can't rip it off like a Band-Aid. It needs to be coddled. It needs to be softly brought back into reality. Some people,
I think it needs to be burnt like a wart. That's what I think.
It would. Believe me, I would love to see it, but it will never happen. But we can't expect it to be just different tomorrow. That's all. Just don't get your hopes up and be disappointed and wake up disappointed every day going, what the fuck is wrong with this fucking world?
Exactly. Because what's probably going to happen is that like this case will probably take easily a good full year.
Say a year,
way more than that.
Yeah, because we're going to have all these movements to delay and motions and all that kind of stuff. There will be other indictments in other cases before this one is done.
Yep, 100%.
Well, news yesterday from Axios that he faces an indictment in early May in Georgia and in mid-May in D.C. when it comes to J6, right? So
a Georgia one includes treason too, by the way,
which apparently is bad.
There's treason's bad. Yeah, I think it's like the worst thing you can do down there. They say.
Yeah, the treason and the sedition.
I'm still fascinated at, even though it seems to be on the decline, the support for this man, like that I can't.
It's not there, dude.
It's
not there. Like
I had a text this morning. We had a text this morning going, you can say whatever you want. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. We wouldn't be where we are right now if Trump was president. Russia wouldn't have attacked Ukraine. And he rattles off all these things, and I'm like, how can people believe he was the most ineffective leader the Western world has had for, like, dude, it's insane that
those people are so fucked. Like, dude, this is...
Well, they're gone.
Yeah, not only are they gone, but every single Canadian, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself if you're a Canadian and you're stumping for that
100%.
twat.
I know.
100%.
Legitimately. Like, if you're like, you're the dumbest person in Canada if you think that he is innocent of anything, knowing anything about the individual. You're just a hopeless idiot. That's what you are. You sit there going, oh, fuck, my guy's good. Your guy, you live in fucking Slave Lake, Alberta, you stupid idiot. Your guy has nothing to do with you or this country. And there you are, putting poison out into the world, saying, that's my guy. He did nothing wrong. Anybody who says that from any side of the ledger without seeing the unsealed indictments is a fucking idiot. And if you support the guy and you live in Canada, you're the biggest fucking idiot. I get you being involved in politics, but not in someone else's, to the point where you treat your neighbor like a cock. Like, seriously.
That's it.
You're a fucking loser. Every single one of you out there. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if I'm related to you, which that definitely applies here. I don't care who you are. You are a useless bag of shit on the wart, which is fucking bullshit island that everybody has to live on because you inhabit social media. So fuck you. Anyway, what were you saying?
So you're not hosting Thanksgiving dinner this year?
I think the important thing to remember here, though, is that with this guy who is such a narcissist and such an attention whore and was so worried about his reputation and his image, the fact that the downfall is in HD 24/7 around the world is death. the fact that his network is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, the people that he can deal and associate with, is death. He no longer has his people at Deutsche Bank. They're gone, right? He no longer has
Signature
his
Bank,
people.
SVB. No, he doesn't have his supporters. Everybody's
All of-
turned on him. The guys,
all of them.
whoever he has,
Murdoch is,
yeah,
Rupert Murdoch is turned on.
sold him out. It's over.
Really?
Well,
So
he has to because
totally.
it's because of
because of that
his
Dominion
entire
piece.
network's going down because of the Dominion stuff.
The
so.
the family tree of his lawyers is very entertaining. They did one on CNN the other day where they talked about all the lawyers he's gone through, and then the connection between the ones that are still there, and why he's having so much trouble finding representation. And it was unbelievable. Like, it was more people than I know. Like, more people than I have in my phone that I can call to come over for dinner. Like, it was insane. Like, although I don't really associate with a lot of people, so bad example.
So the thing for him is that the relevance is his thing, and that's what he's going to lose. He's going to lose relevance, influence, and the ability to command attention. And the ability to do
Douglas,
business,
that's not going away anytime soon.
No. He will have it. We're already at this guy is so overexposed that we are over him, and we have to maintain. The only reason we have to keep paying attention to him is because they have this stupid thing like this where he can run again, because they didn't bother doing what they needed to do somewhere along the way, and therefore he is a person of influence. But as it becomes increasingly clear that his influence is waning, number one, and as the people with whom he associates and on whom he depends to put their money in to prop him forward realize that doing these things for him is actually costing them money and reputational. $1.5 billion, I think, is the lawsuit for against Fox, and then there's one against Newsmax and OAN, and that's Dominion, and then there's also Smartmatic on top of that. I mean, this is enough money to potentially bankrupt these organizations.
I love it.
Right,
and they know
it's
it.
civil, so there's no caps on penalties.
No.
Like, they're really smart. Dominion is fucking pissed, and they are going after
it. It's a Canadian company, by the way.
A Canadian organization. That's the whole thing.
Is
Canadians
it?
are slow to anger, but once you piss us off, we'll burn it all the
well,
fuck
I
down.
mean, that's the thing that somebody was saying, because there's a chance they was like, well, maybe they'll settle out of court, and somebody weighed in when I was listening to it. They're like, no, they want the court case. They want the publicity around the court
smoke,
case because they want to tell him to go. So I love
all
it.
of them. The Kraken chick, Rudy, all those fucking losers. They're fucked. They're going to lose everything because they are. But dude, they are
not getting talked enough about.
No, but they are personally
the Dominion
responsible.
case is the one that's really going to kill him.
Because everybody is going to turn and go, he made us do it.
Yep.
It was him.
And they also, that affects their bank accounts. Remember, money, power, influence. If you go for those three things, you're done. And he went for all three.
Have you guys seen Don Jr.'s response to this yet?
No.
I'll bet you there was a lot of cocaine involved.
He's a little cokey in this one, but he's trying to keep it together. He's like not as outwardly cokey. He's like,
okay.
It's like he only did just a couple of lines. He didn't do the whole.
Just a little bump.
Yeah,
I'm starting early.
Attaboy. Crack that, Stella. That's my friend right there.
Cheers.
Here's Donald Trump finally realizing my dad's going to fucking jail. Wow.
Man, I guess I was proven even more right than I would have ever imagined, because apparently, Soros-backed Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is actually indicting my father. So let's be clear, folks. This is like communist level shit.
There's coke on his nose.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, there's that coke jaw is really
got
happening.
Coke jaw. His eyes are glassy.
Look at the powder on the end of his nose.
He did right in that inner crevice there. Anyway, he's not done.
Stuff that would make Mao, Stalin, Pol Pot, it would make them blush. It's so flagrant. It's so crazed. When even like the radical leftists of the Washington Post are out there saying, it's not really based on facts, it's not really based on the law, it's not really based in reality, but it's 100% based on politics. When your enemies are saying that, it's got to tell you everything you need to know right now about
cocaine.
Yes. You notice how it's almost like a script. Those
Soros-backed.
those dog whistles. Boom, boom,
No.
dog whistles.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Bump, Trader Tot.
Trader Tot? Did you guys have another bump? Did you guys? Are you not like super locked in to the idea that every time there's an accusation against any of these guys, it's a Soros-backed witch hunt? Every single
Everything.
one of them. Soros.
He gets overcharged for gum at the Piggly Wiggly. Soros is behind it.
Soros. Like,
wait, guys, we can't be talking about that. Our checks haven't cleared.
Oh, that's right. We got Soros bucks. We haven't actually cashed yet. I've got 2 checks in my top drawer. I haven't cashed yet.
Friends don't tell on friends.
Yeah.
The other thing I get all the time too, and I still get this, and this one makes me angry. Like it makes.
And you don't need help with that either. So
no, I don't need help. I do not need help. It makes my eyes like instantly bulge out of my head, because occasionally people will say that, oh, you can't talk about that because you took money from Justin Trudeau, right? Like he's telling you what to say, and I'm just like, I get so that the line on the show is all the time, and this comes in, I'd say once a month still to this day, that the line on the show is, hey, have you collected the facts from Justin or talking points for the show today? Like it just drives me insane. The thing that bothers me, I think, the most about this this mega movement down in the States is its impact in Canada. Like I thought we were smarter than this.
No, man. See
slower to get done.
I will say this, and we'll move on from the Trump stuff. Why it matters to me is because it really does matter up here, right? That the person that provides the cover for these cocks to operate as exclusive, racist, theocratic dickheads, the umbrella that he's provided them as far as it being just an alternative opinion to be an asshole, the umbrella he's provided for them to literally operate with Dunning-Kruger syndrome out in the open. Like he's made it cool to be a dumb, lying dick who stands for all the wrong things. Is that when that gets dealt with down there, sure, you're going to get a couple crackpots up here that are pissed off. It'll get dealt with up here. And it matters to me because MAGA is a cult. It's not a political movement. It's a cult of personality that allows people the space to roam freely as an unabated piece of shit. So that is culturally the issue we have up here, left and right. They all seem to operate underneath that umbrella of, hey, this is a justified way to be, or my opinion matters even though you say I'm wrong. It returns us to a baseline of truth and fact, and the idea that anything outside of that is not an alternative opinion. It's just wrong, right? So I'm excited because culturally, this is an opportunity not to hit reset, because the dregs are going to be around for this for a long time. Remember when the Nazis disappeared for like 75 years and made a fucking return over the past several years? I mean, these little things, this MAGA Nation, all this other stuff, it will be around for a long time because people will identify with certain parts of the ideology that made that popular for roughly 6 to 10 years.
That's what made the KKK so successful. When people joined the KKK back in the 20s, it wasn't because they hated black people. It was a Christian organization that aligned with some of their values, and they just overlooked the black thing. They overlooked the racist stuff. And that's what made them so big and popular.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, maybe it's bad because that's their core focus is racism, right? But and hatred. But that's what it does. You're right. People they need to find community. They need to find people that align with their way of thinking. And if that just offers a little pearl, they'll take on the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's why they've been getting away with, that's why we're calling it post-truth. They're getting away with half of when they were told half a story, as long as it resonates, they don't need the end. They don't need it to make sense. They don't need the whole thing. Like when you ask them, why is it a witch hunt? Because it is. Why is it a witch? MAGA. They can't give you an answer. They can't.
Soros again.
Soros, Clinton, Hunter Biden's laptop. You're like, what are you talking about? Just tell me why. And they can't do it.
Or emails.
It's because they were able to grab onto a coattail.
Yeah.
And someone was paying attention.
Unfortunately, I think in some situations here, though, I think politics is playing a part in this. And that's what they're sticking their flag in.
Think about who.
Oh, and by the way, it's absolutely a legitimate strategy to politicize this. That is what they will do.
Yes.
You're 100% right.
They've done it,
but again,
there is some truth to it. I think
totally.
It's always a con.
But here is the rub, and this is a really important rub. He has never been forced to do this in a courtroom.
Yeah,
and in a courtroom,
that's right.
You cannot fucking do that. You have to tell the truth. You have to answer questions. You are on the record. Everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, to the point where I'm watching fucking the news today and they're talking about him not being able to shut the fuck up and how it was a real problem. And he was with his attorneys at the time. And the fear was that he'd be so triggered and pissed off, he was going to say something that they would write down, because they got stenographers sitting there going, go ahead, say something. We'll just write it down and use it against you in a court of law. So like he is, and that has never happened to him before, ever, where that threat was real. This is fucking real, dude. It's as real as it gets, to the point where this is him. As Douglas has pointed out, Charles Adler put this out today. Historic day, April 4th, 2023. Former president of the United States, now a criminal defendant. No circus, no clown show. The shit is getting real. Douglas, over to you. That's him in court. Fucking nice hair. Nice hair. Yeah.
Marcia Clark looks horrible.
Yeah, she does.
Yep. CNN reports that the Trump indictment has been unsealed, according to a source. I'm looking all over to find it.
Yeah, I'm hitting refresh every 5 seconds here too.
Lachlan, there's something about what you said that that resonated with me about the people. Oh darn! I forgot it. Ah, crap.
It'll come back to you.
It'll come back.
I was gonna dovetail on something you said, Locke, about the politics. How now it's different and you're right. Think about when you watch something on TV, like a show that you like on TV. What character do you always, not that you like them but you love to watch? You love that fucking guy that's just like Donald Trump. That's why we loved him on The Apprentice, and we love to watch that asshole, that arrogant cock, as you put it so well. You love that guy. You love to just focus on him because he's obnoxious. The problem is we let that bleed into people that actually make decisions that affect our entire life.
Yeah.
And that's where we've crossed the line from entertainment into real life. We've broken down the fourth wall and allowed it to control it.
Yeah,
we enjoyed it.
It's the presidential version of Bodie McBoatface, right? It's like, hey, it's cool. Let's just nominate this loser because we hate politics. Well, guess what? 100% of us do. And we all hate the government. We all hate being taxed. And we all hate being lied to. And we know that that's what those institutions are. So they elected Bodie McBoatface, but didn't know that they were going to get like 40 years of criminality that came with it, and him filling up the family's pockets and his kids' pockets with Saudi money as they kind of ran around and murdered fucking journalists. And
they should have, when he wouldn't reveal his taxes. They should have figured that out when he wouldn't reveal his taxes. To think that all of this could have fucking been avoided if they would have enforced him having to show his taxes, something he never would have done.
Yeah. There's your boy right now in court. That's his criminal defense team, and I
remembered what it was, Lachlan.
Yes, Douglas. Yes.
When those people contact you and ask you if you've gotten your True to Media lines today to speak, right? Don't get upset. Don't let them live in your head, because that question was directly downloaded from Conservative Central Brain.
Yeah, no, I get that, but
they didn't think that up themselves. No, but
Douglas, I get triggered by all this shit.
I know that, but somebody that asks you a question that is a media line question brought down from Central Brain, asking you whether or not you're going to take the other guy's media lines today, not worth 2 milliseconds of your time.
I think I'm getting there. I'm growing as a person, but I'm also wildly petty. And when
they're fucking with you.
Yeah. So
that I get though.
Yes, I'm wildly petty, and I'm also very proud of what I've accomplished. So for somebody to take a shot at, because I feel like I'm one of the last fucking guys in the country, one of a handful of guys in the country that actually has the balls to step up to a mic on terrestrial radio and say what I think. And so for someone to take a shot at me or to try to dress me down by suggesting that my show is scripted or controlled by outside influence, oh my God. Might as well pull my toenails out, honestly. Like, I'd rather do that.
But that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
They want to take from you everything that you have, right? They want to take from you all your self-worth, everything that you've put in. They want to denigrate. Right? It's deny, denigrate, defame, deride, all the D's. That's what they do. That's the playbook. So it's just like,
I'm trying not to be the guy that needs this man, Donald Trump, to go to jail. And I don't know if I would have been able to say that 2 years ago. I think Grant said something interesting to me, because I asked him, I said, legitimately tell me, do you need this man to go to jail? We did a stupid Twitter poll and then did a break on it this morning on the show. And he goes, no, he goes, I will be honest about something. And this, I thought this was very revealing of Grant's personality. He said, you know what? I'll admit this though. I needed him to lose the last election, because I needed to be a part of a society, even though I don't live in the United States of America,
where
I needed
that's
to be
not rewarded. Yeah.
Where he can't be the leader anymore because the collective doesn't think that he's fit to lead. And I was like, that's interesting, because I think that says a lot about where many of us are at right now. All right, just deal with him.
I feel the same way about Polyev.
Yeah,
I do. I feel the same way about him. By the way, former President Donald Trump has pled not guilty to all 34 counts of falsifying business records and hush money probes.
Must have been exhausting for him to say
not
that
guilty
that many
34
times.
times. Yeah, exactly, because he had to do it. There are 34 charging documents, so 34 times he had to do it. So he had to do, as you pointed out, had to do it over and over and over again.
Although, in fairness, he's had like 4 or 5 years of like just repeating everything.
That is true.
Over and over and over
So he's
again.
good at it. But you know, when I was a kid, again, getting back to me being a kid, my dad said something to me fascinating. He's like, chances are, if one person has a problem with you, it's probably a 50-50 thing. If everyone has a problem with you, strange that my dad told me that. Strange that he's like, if everyone has a problem with you, son, it's probably your problem, right? Like, when you have so many different things amassing to say one thing, you would think that after 34 charges have brought against you, at least one of them he'd go, yeah, you got me on that one.
You guys all need to
you got me guilty on that one.
Come to Alberta. Come to Alberta.
So much.
Come to Alberta. I'll introduce you to a narcissist. He's in my family. Yeah. And it's not me. It's not me.
I was about to go there.
Is his name Cochran Crunch?
I was gonna ask.
Is it your alter ego?
Yeah. I like how Dean said subtle messages to me through this podcast. I was talking to my dad when I was a kid. You know what he told me? This is really about you, Lachlan, without really saying it. You might be the fucking problem, you know?
No, I'm saying, if the mountain of evidence says you did this, for someone to say no to the entire mountain is like, I didn't do any of that.
You need to own this, Locke. Everyone thinks you're a cock.
But he's going to have to do this at least 3 or 4 more times, where they'll say, here's like 29 other charges. What do you plead to those? He's like, clearly not guilty. I'm like, okay. And then he's going to get to the next one. There's say 31 charges. What do you make of all 31? He's like, oh, not guilty of all of those too.
Definitely.
There's not a single one in there that I am guilty of. And then he'll get to the 4th charging station and they'll go, you've been indicted for racketeering and treason. He's like, hello, have you not been paying attention? I'm not guilty for all of these things.
Anything.
Yes,
the funny thing is, when he went and did that rally last week or the week before, where he said they were running this clip, and I saw it, and it was out of the corner of my eye. I wasn't paying attention, just had the news on. And he was like, I'm the most innocent man in the world. I just started laughing. We're at a point now where it's so funny. Like, he
has human beings out there that live in like Grand Prairie that are like, yeah, of course he's not guilty.
Hey, tell me, have you ever seen the most innocent man in the world?
Oh my
Seriously.
God, it's so
I
funny.
laughed so hard at it. It's like, dude, there's like 400 charges in 4 different states, and he's like, yeah, not guilty. Of course.
He's a one-man crime spree. It's like the statute of limitations on anything never expires because he can't stop freaking criming.
Seriously.
Unbelievable.
Criming crime pants. Well, we'll find out today what he says at 8:15. He's currently, after he pled not guilty to all 34 counts individually, where he's like, no, seriously, repeat the same answer for each one. I did nothing wrong, never have.
I
never
want
will.
audio of that because
so do I.
He can't
No-
just say
no
not
audio,
guilty.
no
I
nothing.
know it sucks. I
I
want
know
the audio
this is
of
the
it.
this is the part where we got ripped off, man.
I know.
That,
Anyway.
this judge doesn't fuck around. This guy is not. He's. I think he's in trouble with this one. You know what? I think this was a strategy on the part of the legal system to sort of pave the way for the rest of it. I think they legitimately went because everyone was like, "Why this one? Why?" I think they're testing.
Well, I
testing
think
this
this
whole
has
thing.
something to do with a bunch of the other things. Like I think,
Yeah,
that
they're
we're
on the
talking
phone,
about
Dean.
legal dumb. Oh, for sure they are.
Yeah,
So, like, what do you
get
got?
so and so in New York to do it. Get him because
and then
you're not going to
bury
face this guy.
him. Oh, dude, yeah, it's a strategy. We're going to bury this guy under like lawsuit and charge after charge to the point where you're fucked. What do you got about the judge and Don Jr., Ryan Lindley? What do you got for us?
So you want to talk about feeling threatened? What do you do when you're threatened and you're backed into a corner? You start taking swipes like this. That's the daughter of the judge. And Donald Jr. is now tweeting out pictures of her saying that she worked on the Biden-Harris campaign.
Yes.
Through a Breitbart article.
Daughter of Judge
So
Trump.
if this isn't somebody running scared,
I love it.
and
I love it. I hope that
flailing.
they fuck around with this judge a lot. Like I hope MAGA Nation makes him feel threatened. I hope that these guys, like that's the thing, right? That this is not like years past where judges would go into hiding. The government in New York, like the state government, the district attorney's office, the FBI, the CIA, they are on not just high alert. They're going to go and get people. Like the kind of shit that they're trying to pull where they're intimidating like literal judges and district attorneys that have the ability to throw them in jail sight unseen for 21 solid days. They're going to start doing that next because these guys are not fucking around anymore.
Yeah.
Like that judge is a solid judge who has, I think he was the Weisselberg judge in the Trump org lawsuit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he
who
was.
was incredibly fair to Mr. Weisselberg. That was what Mr. Weisselberg said. He's like, dude, he was like really fair to me. And this judge is also, I believe, appointed by the Republicans in the last 6 years.
That's
and so
what I
he's gonna
said
go,
the other
fuck
day.
you guys, I'm coming to get you. He said it. So is the DA. So like, I hope they continue to feed the machine. I hope guys like Donald Trump keep putting pictures of the judge's daughter on social media. And I hope it gets dealt with. And I hope we get to see that. How fucking great would it be to see Don Jr. in an orange jumpsuit?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think you've just opened up a door, Dean, because I think that over the course of the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks, maybe month, we might be seeing a lot of activity by friends and sympathizers that will land them with court cases of their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
But you know what? It doesn't get any fucking lower than that. You know what I mean? Like than doing what he did, like tweeting something like that. Like it doesn't get lower. It shows the level of a man he is, where he I'm gonna just tweet out a picture of the judge's kid. Like that's mob shit. You know, like that is literal mob shit. You know,
a lot
like
of these
just
tactics, like
fucking brutal.
They're very, very based in that world, right? Like this. I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to sue. It's all of it.
I hate him more than I hate his dad. I think I do. I really think I hate him more than his dad. I really do.
Don Jr. is a hard individual to like. I mean,
all the Trump kids are. They all
Yeah.
are. They're all just a bunch of entitled little pukes. And I had it in for Eric the second I called him burn victim Trump, and he blocked me.
Yeah. Soft AF.
What a pussy. Seriously.
Soft.
blocked me because he looks like a burn victim. He looks like he needs to wear a Job suit. Nothing against burn victims, but I'm saying he's just like they're all fucked too. Like they are all in on it. Every single member of that disgusting fucking super wealthy trailer park con job family, they're all going to jail. Fact. And I can't wait. I love all of it. Give it to me. Give it to me. I want to do an NFT collection. I want to do all of it. Seriously. Each Trump jumpsuit, like with all their arrest stats.
Do it before
all that stuff.
Do it before
trading cards. That's what we need. Trading cards, NFTs.
Because they're only going to sell for about 2 days, and then they'll drop like 300%.
Yeah.
No. Trump jailing credit cards.
Sorry.
I love it. No, it's going to be awesome. So anyway, we'll find out 8:15 tonight. He's going to speak. I appreciate everybody being here, kind of hanging out and talking about it. It's been a great day. Lachlan seems perplexed for some reason.
No, I'm good. This is just my normal perplexed look. I haven't had a drink today.
We better get out of here so you can go have.
Wait a minute. I'm actually ahead of you right now.
Yes, Douglas, you got 2 hours on me, and I haven't worked out yet. So I'm still trying to do yoga every day, and I find that it's hard to do yoga if you have 3-4 beer in you. So
I'm about 4.5 years late for the gym too myself, so I should probably go.
Yeah, you should hang in there. I do want to bring something up, though. Ryan Lindley knocked it out of the goddamn park this weekend at the food truck takeover, ladies and gentlemen. We've guys at Cheese Boutique, downtown Toronto, beautiful little area, 45 Ripley Avenue, invited Crier Media's own Ryan Lindley and his Getting Sauce podcast, which we're launching, down to take over the food truck. We had P-meal bacon sliders.
Oh, man.
We had these beautiful butter tarts. Whoa. We had these incredible diner burgers. We also had Garpar dusted fries. And then they had oyster shucking on Sunday.
What?
It was a packed event.
Yeah.
One of the best they've ever had. And they've asked Ryan to come back because he is that good. But well done this weekend, Ryan. That was.
Are you already thinking about a menu
fun.
for the next one?
So I appreciate it. Thank you, Dean. And I can't say it was me because it wasn't. My wife and my brother-in-law, who is the actual chef, took over the truck and took over the front line of the cooking. And I just did the glad handing and the order taking as it went on. But yes, it was a complete success overall. They have asked us to come back, and we have thought about a new menu. We're not going to say anything yet because nothing is set in stone, but we have a really good idea for the next time, and we know it'll go over like gangbusters where we are. And so stay tuned. I don't know exactly if it's going to be July or August, but we're going back.
I should get you to come out and do a food truck for the Locker Room Lawn Darts tournament on August 13th.
That would be a good idea. We would totally do that, and actually that would make a good show too.
We should talk about that.
Let's talk.
Yeah, we should get Mel Schmiller involved in it.
That's what I'm
Dark
saying.
Side of the Grill. You guys team up, take over a food truck, and go and do the lawn darts tournament. I might even come out for that. Probably not.
Yeah.
I might actually. I might. Come
we
out
do
for
32
Well,
tags.
that was some solid commitment there, Dean.
I know. I like to
Lasted all
vacillate.
about like a quarter.
I'd like to
Well,
give myself some outs.
He's just the tip guy. Like he'll just stick it in there, and then he'll go,
Just a little bit.
leave it in,
See you
and
later.
then pull it out when you're a week away. He's offered to come to my place and stay out here in Edmonton about 7 times in the last 2 years. Not
Dude,
have one.
fuck that.
Not one.
Last time I told you I was going to come at Christmas, New Year's, I was going to come at New Year's. And you're like, yeah, you can stay with me. And then I got like a series of phone calls after where he was trying to butter me up, trying to say maybe you should stay somewhere else because my kids are going to be in town and it might be too many people in the house.
That's
for
not
me and
true.
Deb.
I told
That's
you.
exactly what happened.
I needed to
And
know
so
what
I'm like,
day.
Dude, don't worry about it. I'm not coming. That's what happened.
No, that's not.
New house. You're like, Deb and I have the kids here at Christmas. It's going to be a lot of people.
He's totally.
That's exactly what you said to me.
You're making me look so
I'm
bad.
telling you
I can't believe it.
Because it's the truth. That's what you said. And so I said,
really
okay, forget
wanted
it. I'll
you
come
here.
out in the new year. You know what it was? He said I could stay at his house.
And then I didn't tell my wife.
I know the story. Yeah.
You guys got partners, life partners, right? Whereas he's like, he goes, you got to come for the Big Sugar show, New Year's Eve. I'm like, I'm there. Book the ticket. And then a series of emails and phone calls that kind of started to leak out about 2 weeks later because he hadn't told Deb.
I think
not tell
you
Deb.
reminded me to tell my wife. And I was like, oh,
And then he realizes where he's like, oh my God, I've got a house full of kids and their boyfriends or fiancés are coming here. My wife said, his wife basically said, no, we can't host Dean.
That's not
He didn't
true.
wanna tell me.
Actually, the
That is
truth,
what happened.
the
That's
truth
exactly
of the
what
matter
happened,
is,
isn't it? I
actually,
know.
we
To him? Oh God, no.
we actually found a place for my daughter and her boyfriend to stay for the night that he was supposed to stay here. And they actually stayed there. So there was a room available for Dean. That all happened because
That's
I
a lie,
pulled
too.
some
Now
guilt
you're
trip
lying.
on my wife about never having friends over. And this is one of them. And
You didn't ask.
Well,
She shut it down. She's like, how are we going to host all those people? Lachlan, do you know how much toast that is in the morning? And he's like, fuck, now I got to go tell Dean he can't stay here even though he's flying here. So don't try and make me feel bad about not coming out
you
there.
should
Don't
feel
do
bad
that.
because that was one of many times you said you were coming out here.
No, that was twice I said I was coming out there. And the first time I never made any commitment at all.
Linz,
Zero.
help me out here.
there was no commitment on the
think
first
you
one.
can.
There really wasn't. I do remember that. I have to be.
There was a
honest.
concert
Liar.
too.
I work with a compulsive liar.
No, I just have an alternative view of the facts.
Alternative
Trump. Okay,
alternative
yeah, we're back to
facts.
that again.
What was her name? Back to the Trump story. Anyway,
15 Beaver Point.
it was a
Kellyanne.
great. It was a
I was
great
trying to
weekend.
find a way to wrap it up.
It was a
there
great
you go.
weekend.
Look at this.
This was the crew. A lot of people showed up. A lot of crier people showed up. We had a really fun time. And our listeners are great. They even
That's a
they
lot
even
of
made
sexy
me a
people.
they made me a food truck needlepoint thing. So yeah, it was really fun. We had
Yeah,
a good
the
time.
support was really incredible. And I was like, I don't often get humbled,
Well, we know,
but I was
We know.
humbled by how many people showed up in our shirts, in our gear,
Yeah.
and wanted to say hi to us. Linz is fucking handing out autographs like he's Gretzky on the
That was
side. He's like,
cool.
will you sign my burger? He's like, all right, if you want me to.
Yeah.
So very humbling to see the support that we had. So if you joined us,
Good
at the
work,
food truck,
Linz.
and if you supported Ryan Lindley and his Getting Sauced food truck takeover, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And I know Ryan, watching you do that yesterday, was like, I'm like, fuck, this is what you should be doing. So you're no longer allowed to do any content if it's not food related. So there you go.
That's I'm down. Today was a
Wait.
What are we going to do about the sound effects on the show, though?
yeah. Who's gonna do that now?
Who's going to get the honking horn in there?
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
He's going to throw in some random.
Fuck you!
See? What would we do without that?
Anyway, it was great, and we're gonna go back in August, but we'll let everybody know. But Ryan, great job. I thought it was
Thanks,
awesome.
man. Yeah, and that's why we got offered the spot because we were originally going back in the fall. The summer, they said, as soon as they saw what was going on and the foot traffic into the store, like Crier really, they said it was the best promoted event that they've ever put on, and their numbers really showed that. So I'm really proud, and I'm really proud of our team, Ray, Chris. Chris right now is in a bit of a pickle. He went home and his gear didn't make it back.
Whoa!
He's got about $4,000 worth of camera stuff sitting, hopefully at Pearson somewhere. That might hope.
You mean
hopefully
12 grand?
No, he got some of it back.
No, he didn't.
No. They'll only cover $2,400. I've already told him. So
$7 grand. It was 12. Oh, that's a lawsuit because
Yeah.
they lost $40,000 worth of equipment. Who loses $80,000?
it's unbelievable. What 6 figures worth of equipment go missing.
$180,000 worth of equipment went missing. He needs to get that back.
Yeah. So
Poor
yeah,
guy.
he texted.
Yeah, imagine being up 250.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
He texted me last night just as he got off the plane saying he was on his way home.
GPS. Everyone's
back.
putting
Well,
those little
air
tags
tags.
in everything.
Yeah.
Air tags.
He said that to me
My
today. He says,
daughters
I'm-
do that now. They travel
Never-
with air tags.
Yeah, never
You
going
gotta-
back without it. So.
All right.
So yeah, fingers crossed for him. But if you want, hop on and yell at Pearson and Porter Airlines, everybody, and tell them to find Chris's bag.
Yeah, that'll work.
Start a
no,
hashtag.
won't work. Probably won't work. But make sure you follow Getting Sauced at Getting_Sauced on Twitter. Make sure you follow my friend Douglas Connors and his Mr. Beaver and Mr.
Douglas.
Grizzly podcast, the True North Eager Beaver. He is the Willy Wonka of politics here at Crier Media. Give him a follow at True Eager on Twitter. At Call Me Cam is where you can follow him on Twitter as well. Great podcast. Go and download, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. It's truly fantastic. Please listen to it. And by the way, cruising up the charts for the top podcasts in Canada. These guys cruising up the charts. like 2 straight weeks
Nice work,
on the
guys.
charts in the top 100,
Yep.
zooming up the charts. So
Good for you.
really good to see. If
Doing
you want to
really
be
well.
informed and have a good time doing it, make sure you hook in with
Must
these
be
guys.
all the pecker content.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely. Well, when we have Mr. Grizzly coming on flashing his all over the place,
Quite a hammer on that young man too.
Yeah, Mr. Grizzly has a hammer, big
That's-
time.
That's that's the secret. You're supposed to DM your dick pics to your fan base. I'll
I
keep
don't
that
think
in
you
mind
are.
for the
I think
food
you can
truck.
get in trouble for it.
Oh
Nobody told you that?
no, I don't. But it seems to be working for them. Why can't it work for us? Get on this, Lachlan.
Because we get consent before we send ours.
I'm a grower, so
we get
I
consent
would
before
need
we
to
send
do a
his
little
out. We don't
preparation
send
before I
fluffing.
took a picture. Like I
Little-
need to fluff it up.
Little fluffing.
I hear
Knock
you
it
can-
around a little
you
bit,
put-
show it some
yeah.
pornography. Yeah,
Just
I
hit
get
it on slam it in a door a few
Tie
times.
a
and
thing
then-
around it.
Yeah, and then
Tie it off.
take an elastic band and tie it around the base. Like right.
It's not like a loose baby tooth. You're not supposed to
I need all the
little
work I
rope
can
around
get
it
to
to
get
have it
blood to
pull it
stay
off.
in there, Douglas. So
Yeah, because he's so
supposed to
massive.
stay attached,
right.
man.
Yeah,
He
I'm
passes
waiting
out.
for Lachlan to go. Exactly. Yeah, every time I get a boner, I fucking have
Pass
a
out.
seizure. So much blood down there, it takes it away from my brain.
Yeah.
Not enough blood flow in my cerebellum every time I get an erection. So
by the way,
I fall
hold on, I'd like
forward.
to
It's a
point
good
out
thing it's
I'm
so
not the
long,
one
or else,
dragging
I
out the
wouldn't
fucking
breathe.
podcast today.
that's Lynn's. It's not me.
I didn't say
No,
a
it's
fucking
not. I
word.
tried, dude. I've been
Fucking
trying to move
Lynn's.
on. You've been just bragging about your
Lynn's,
food
you
truck.
dick.
Oh, guys, the food was so good.
It was really good. Anyway, thanks to the Cheese Boutique. Thanks to Douglas. Thanks to Ryan
Good to see you,
Lindley. Go and
Linz.
follow his podcast as well. Getting Sauced, wherever you get your fine
Indeed.
podcast. Follow Lachlan Cross at Lachlan Cross on Twitter. Have a great day, Douglas. Have a great day,
Day drink,
Ryan.
have a toast.
Attaboy. Thank you very much. Donald Trump is officially a fucking criminal. It's over. He's a criminal. He's been arrested, charged with 34 crimes. Racketeering is one of them. Go to crier.co for more details on this as we get a post ready so you can follow every part of this incredible day. Mega Nation, listen to me very carefully because I got to leave and take my son to work. Mega Nation, listen to me very carefully. You picked the wrong horse. You picked the diseased horse. It's the one you've been riding around. And it's about to get put down. So you've got one of two choices. Continue to support a fucking criminal perennial loser who is losing and will lose and has lost. Or scrub your Facebook account and pretend it never happened. Hey, that's what you're going to do. Oh, I better go delete things. Oh, fuck. delete. Oh, Schadenfreude, how I missed you. You beautiful emotion. Full of it today. You can replace happiness with it, anger, empathy, sympathy, love, hope, kindness. So many feelings you can replace with Schadenfreude because it covers the spectrum. It's like, oh, I was right. It's the ultimate I told you so emotion. It's really what it is. It's your entire nervous system going, yeah, we knew. What a fuck. Anyway, Donald Trump's been arrested. MAGA Nation, good luck with the social media scrub. It's going to be a lot of fun. I need a cigarette. Or as Douglas Connors is in the chat right now, he needs a post-coital cookie. I need a post-coital smoke, and I don't even smoke. But I do love a cookie. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks to Donald Trump for all the content today. An hour and a half. I didn't have to switch gears once. Thanks, buddy. That was great. Have a wonderful time. We will see you tomorrow right here, 4 o'clock, where we go over this yet again, and we'll get to a multitude of other things, including Elon Musk getting sued today, something he doesn't want you to know, for $258 billion for a Ponzi scheme. It's weird. It's weird how it's all coming around. Huh? Well, anyway, stay the course, everyone. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.